men stormed the all-boys government science secondary school in Kankara, Katsina State, late Friday evening. Phil Ihaza, Abuja.
The International Criminal Court says it's ready to start an investigation into the situation in Ukraine and the disputed territory of Crimea after collecting 6 years of evidence into alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity. Stuart Smith reports from Moscow.
Violence began after Ukraine saw a revolution at the end of 2013, which led to Russia annexing Crimea and serious violence in the east of the country, which continues today. The International Criminal Court has been collecting evidence of the situation in Ukraine since fighting began in 2014. The prosecutor in charge now says they've gathered enough information to begin an investigation, with multiple parties in the conflict under scrutiny. Ukraine has offered its full support and jurisdiction to the ICC since 2014. The prosecutor has asked for the cooperation of Ukraine and Russia to determine how justice is best served. Stuart Smith, Moscow.
Brexit talks continue in Brussels after UK and EU negotiators were told to go the extra mile to try to reach a trade deal. Sunday had been the deadline for a firm decision, but no new date has been set. Boris Johnson's warning of a no-deal scenario is still the most likely outcome when the transition period ends on New Year's Eve. Former Liberal Democrat leader Lord Campbell says with the stakes so high it's no surprise it's going down to the wire.
They're both looking down the barrel of the gun. Here in the United Kingdom, we've got congestion at the ports, we've got supermarkets warning about shortages, the effect of tariffs on Welsh lamb and Welsh hill farmers. When you actually look at what the consequences might be, then I'm not at all surprised that people are saying, well, look, let's see just how far we can go in the available time.
Tributes have been pouring in to the author John le Carré, who has died at the age of 89. Stephen King called him a literary giant and a humanitarian spirit. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting's hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go. Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What? Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't? Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this!
You will rock this! To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Monday, December 14th. We're your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. Joined by my co-host, Mr. Tony Sanfilippo. Tony, how was your weekend?
Yeah, you know, as always, it's only one day. I only get Sunday, but it was relaxing. I slept most of the day away, been exhausted from a long week of work, and Saturday, I attempted to go to my nephew's birthday, but we got hit with a snow and ice storm, so the roads were pretty crap, so I had to tap out and turn around, because when your car, even with good tires, is all over the road, it's usually best not to push that.
Exactly. And so, you know, we're in the middle of your weekend. Luckily, you get today off as well. But,
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
And already started it off right. I already hit the gym today, so that's good. And, you know, not without some technical bugs. It's the second time I've used the MacBook for the show. So hopefully the angle's good and everything connects well. We'll find out here today as the day goes on.
Yeah, compared to the old Mac, it looks good. It sounds good. I think we might have a winner on our hands.
Yeah, we do. It's just now it's a weird angle because, like, the Mac was, you know, so big and the camera was up that it looked down. You could see everything. Now this thing is just like straight on you. It's just we're eye level now. You can't even tell what I'm wearing. And by the way, today I'm sporting the Avs today. The former owner passed away yesterday, so kind of supporting for that. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Nice little tribute. Well, let's go ahead and kick things off the way we do each and every day with a question for my co-host. Tony, if you were laid off of your job due to everything that's going on right now and needed to come up with, make an income pretty quickly, what would you do to, basically make that transition and start a new life and make some income?
Well, right out the gate, I would start a cartel and I'd be a big drug addict. I wouldn't do that.
No, you never sample your own stuff.
It's going to go something crazy like that. What I would do is if I had to go get another job, if I got laid off, I'd probably do something short-term like Uber or Lyft or DoorDash or something silly just to get – and I'm not saying it's silly if you do that, by the way. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying for an easy income, I have a good vehicle that I could get around and do that. It would be something quick and simple I could do.
All right, fair enough. Well, here's something to consider. When a teacher lost her $27,000 a year job during the current events, she decided on a drastic career change. Riley Summers from Los Angeles was in desperate need of income. She decided to turn to Instagram modeling as a way to make money, and thankfully social media users couldn't get enough of her sexy photos.
I can't get enough, I'm hot for teacher.
The influencer now boasts more than 1.2 million followers on her @Riley.tv platform, and she shares premium saucy pictures on Nudies too. I guess Nudies is a platform. The 23-year-old said, "I lost my job, which led to some doors opening that I didn't expect." Riley added, "I'm very new to social media, but I really love it. I'm especially enjoying the opportunities it gives me to be sexy and fun, but still keep up a sort of barrier or boundary between my followers and me. It's made me feel so comfortable I get an adrenaline rush every time I post a naughty picture." Nowadays, Riley earns $6,000 a week online. She also loves all the attention she gets from her legion of adoring fans. Riley said, "We can engage with fans and make them feel special, even if their lives in reality probably aren't all that special. It's pretty good being likable based entirely off of my looks." Even though Riley is currently in a relationship, she's constantly inundated with requests from potential suitors. She said, "I get marriage proposals all the time. There's this one guy who comments with a very well-written poem on every single photo of mine. It's sweet and it makes me laugh. I also love the very simple comments, like when people ask if they can butter my biscuits."
That's so sweet. See, I was a teacher, but now, like, everyone's so nice to me. Like, you know, I just don't know what it is. I constantly am getting asked out. People want to butter on the biscuits. You know, they've offered me all kinds of things. One guy even offered me a pearl necklace, and I was like, well, I don't know. That necklace might look kind of nice. Idiot. I mean, good on her for making the money doing that. But dude, there's a lot of hornballs out there, man.
There are, a lot of creepy people. Got to be
creepers.
Really
man.
watch out for
video store. The dudes that would go in that back room, there was some creepy deepies, man. I don't know what the hell a deepie is, but there you go.
Well, good on her for making use of her, lack of a better term, assets.
And I gotta say too, man. I say this. I think I've said this on the show before, but $27,000 for a teacher is just BS salary, man. Teachers need to make way more money than they get, and unfortunately, right now computers, all they have to do is stand in front of a computer and just have to get the curriculum out there, and it's hard to reach the students that way. But to make this world better, I really think teachers should make more. It's sad. We've actually had a lot of teachers that got laid off during this pandemic, and they've come to work at Costco, and one even said they make more at Costco than they do teaching, which is crazy to me.
It's sad.
It's sad. We even shouldn't make more than teachers. I don't think at all.
Well, in any case, hopefully, the teachers that
but I don't control it just because I preach my opinion. It doesn't change things.
Exactly.
I'm
Nothing
in your
we
corners,
can do.
Teachers.
All right, folks, it is Monday. We've got a wonderful show lined up for you today. Let's talk about today's show, shall we?
Briefly, I hate Mondays. Just hate them. Therefore, I decree from this day forward, there will be no more Mondays.
Since there are still Mondays, we're going to make it the best of it as we can. As we do on Mondays, we have Silly Rabbit. This bit is for kids. We have a segment called Home Unknown. Our call-in topic.
Home Unknown.
Our call-in topic is Christmas on the Cheap. We have a segment called It's a Trap. We end up the day
is it a trap?
with This Day in History.
It's a trap.
And up next, Tony is here with the entertainment news. Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
the most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m. and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, Let's Do Lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Monday, December 14th. Now we have a little thing called the Fenix Line. It is a 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line giving you guys the opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever. Maybe you are a former teacher turned Instagram sexy model, whatever it is. We want to know about it. Give us a call at Fenix Media or 855 Fenix Radio. That's 855 FENIX RDO or 855-336-4973. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together, put them out in a future show. Speaking of entertaining, Tony is here with the entertainment news.
Oh, the mute was almost there, yeah. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, December 14th, and here's your Filippo Fast Five. All right, we start out, as I said, I'm wearing Avs gear today, not only because I love the Avs, but former Avs president Pierre Lacroix had passed away yesterday. It doesn't say from what, but unfortunately, he passed away. He led, actually, fun fact, he led the first major sports team, a championship in Colorado. So the Avs were the first team to do it, I think, back in '96, and then the Broncos won 2 Super Bowls after that. What was crazy is when they came from Montreal as the Nordiques, they actually came out and won in their first season as the Colorado Avalanche. So
very cool.
Fun, useless hockey trivia. Now, here's the fun thing: is the Filippo Fast Five thing. Here we go. A lot of stuff going on one screen here. Usually, I have 2 to finagle. The Handmaid's Tale is renewed for a 5th season. So if you're into that show, hey, it's coming back. Steel Magnolias actress Carol Sutton dies of COVID-19. Sad. That thing is just taking out some of the older cast here. Star Wars Rogue Squadron movie won't be based on the movies, or won't be based on the games, but it is influenced by them. So that one's going to be directed by Patty Jenkins, and
of Wonder Woman fame.
That'll be cool. Cyberpunk 2077 runs so terribly on the PS4 and Xbox One that its creator is offering refunds. So if you bought Cyberpunk on anything that's not a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, you might want to skip that game. It doesn't seem like they put much effort into that one. It looks
terrible.
And lastly, a bonus one, which is kind of poopy, but the Kansas City Chiefs have won their 5th straight AFC West Division title. Hey, but the Broncos did win and look good yesterday. And surprisingly, the Chargers won yesterday. The only team that lost yesterday was the Nevada Raiders. So, and they didn't just lose. They got their ass kicked.
Yeah, they did.
So, I digress. That was that. But we'll still stay in the realm of sports. The Cleveland Indians are about to be no more. They are going to change their name after 105 years. So now, as of now, they are called the Cleveland baseball team. Lame. I hope they really pick something else. But
really original.
Real original. The Cleveland baseball team. The Native American groups thought that it was racist, and they got criticized. So last year they got rid of Chief Wahoo, the infamous Indians logo. They still rolled with the Indians name. The Cleveland team is just something that this is huge, because, I mean, you think of a team after 105 years being called the Cleveland Indians, it's definitely an end of an era there in Cleveland. So it'll be interesting to see what they become. Not sure any potential things. Somebody said there was a rumor they may call themselves the Cleveland Blue Sox, because you already have the Chicago White Sox, the Boston Red Sox, you have your red, white, blue. You have all American colors of the Sox there. So I don't know. What's your take on this, bro?
I read that originally, before they were the Indians, they were known as the Cleveland Spiders, which, not all that great.
Cleveland Spiders.
It's tough. I can see where the Redskins, maybe needed to change things around, but the name the Indians, you're splitting hairs at this point. I mean, it's I could ramble on for a long time, but ultimately, it's a name that's been a tradition for 105 years. It's not my in my area of influence, whether or not it's offensive or not. So I don't know if I can really speak to it.
Yeah, I can't say. I gotta say, and I did like the logo growing up. I always thought it was synonymous with baseball, and I loved the movie Major League, so it all kind of tied together for me. But definitely a bummer. But it'll be interesting to see. Just please don't call yourself the Cleveland baseball team.
No.
And please, Washington, even though you're number one in the NFC East, please don't keep that name. Like, please get a real name.
Right.
I digress, and let's actually move on to real entertainment that's not sports. But I love sports. I can talk sports for hours. The good old box office report for this week. No surprise, The Croods: A New Age continues to lead a box office, and they went unopposed. Not a single movie came out this week to challenge them. So no surprise that they won. So The Croods came in, bringing their total to 24.2. Half Brothers, number 2, never heard of that movie, but second place, its total is now up to 1.38 million. Elf, number 3. Freaky is number 4. The War with Grandpa, still kicking, number 5. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, number 6. The Polar Express, number 7. Oh My Life is number 8. Wonder Woman, the original one, is back on at number 9. And Come Play, the little creepy kid in the iPad, number 10. So the box office, I think, is going to get a new number 1 this week. Monster Hunter comes out on Thursday, the Mila Jovovich video game adaptation. So that should be really good.
Yeah.
I don't know about really good movie, but hopefully really good for the next couple weeks for the box office, because we got that. Then you got Wonder Woman 84. And then we're back to like that dry spell. So, the box office and I have a lot going on in common, if you know what I mean. Long dry spells. Put it together. I'm not going to say it in case there's kids watching, but you get the drift. So.
All right.
Oh, giggity goo. Streaming is about to get a lot more expensive. I'm going to move the clock here so I know not to ramble for too long. The Disney threw down the gauntlet to its competitors last week with the slate of remarkable programming on Disney Plus, along some eye-popping subscriber numbers and forecasts. Fans of Disney Plus will have roughly 10 new series from Marvel and Star Wars, alongside a cornucopia of other content. Disney plans on spending between $14 billion and $16 billion across $1 billion. Its streaming services to make all those shows and movies. Someone has to pay for all that content, and that someone is probably you and me. If Disney wants to achieve its forecast of hitting profitability in all fiscal 2024, it has to raise its prices. It said it will do that on March, and after that, it'll likely have to do it again. Increasingly, streaming in general is taking a greater share of the consumer's wallet. It's not just Disney raising their prices. Netflix has already announced a price increase, and other competitors may have to do the same to produce the kind of content Disney showed it could while remaining staple business. Take HBO Max, for example. The service from CNN's parent company announced earlier this month it will stream movies on HBO Max the same day they drop in theaters. Whether that becomes the norm or that's just a quick solution during the pandemic has yet to be seen. But if it becomes a permanent strategy, consumers will likely see subscription prices raise over the next few years. Producing a major blockbuster like Wonder Woman 1984 isn't cheap. So, this is no surprise. I think you kind of have to. Obviously, if you're going to put this, you can't put something cheap out. It does cost money to make. As long as it doesn't get to the point where you have so many streaming services that it's like more ridiculous than cable, because the whole point of streaming was great because it cut the cable. you got what you needed off of that. But I don't know, man. What's your take on it?
You know, if the increases are nominal, for instance, Netflix is going up by $1 here in January. I would assume that Disney's going up by maybe $1 or so. Luckily, HBO Max is staying right there. But for all of those streaming services, it's still more affordable than cable to us. And we still get everything that we want from cable and more. So for now, I think it's okay. But if it starts creeping up into that price range, I might have to look at cutting a couple of the services.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, I'm fortunate enough with my Verizon bill, I get Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus rolled into it. It saved me $10, so why not? So 3 of those services are just rolled in. And then even with Spotify, I pay for that, but that comes with Hulu as well. So I'm like double set up on Hulu, which is kind of weird. But, you know, you look for the deals, and I agree with you. You got to look at what you use. Like, I honestly I watch Netflix, but I don't watch it as much as I used to. Disney Plus, of course, I watch more often because of Mandalorian. So, you know, here nor there, that's what's upcoming. And, you know, we'll talk more of upcoming shows and things like that coming out because I got 20 seconds before end of segment. So let's dance on to the birthdays, baby. It's my birthday! I had to tie in some yesterday birthdays just to stretch it. So,
that's all right.
Ooh, look what you made her do. I don't know about you, but she's no longer 22. That's a love story, so just say shake it off. She's still a young 31. I'm talking my imaginary lover. Taylor Swift is 31. You know who's feeling 22? The favorite target of Russell Wilson. He netted you 15 points in fantasy football yesterday, but today he is 22. That's DK Metcalf. Only 22 and already, man. What a stud out there.
I know.
This Wanda was living in color before being unchained and electric. His name is Ray Django, Steamin' Willie Beeman. Jamie Foxx is 53. This legendary dick has had a long stretch of life, but don't get ahead of yourself. This guy liked popping with Mary, then he did the bang bang, the chitty chitty kind. Relax, everybody. I'm talking Dick Van Dyke. He's a young 95. Wake her up inside before she goes under. You only call her when you're sober because you're so immortal. Don't forget to use your imaginary. Evanescence lead singer Amy Lee is 39. The drummer of the Lone Rangers went on to get Crazy Eyes and Homeless, but then a Big Daddy found him, and he got in a herd of debt before being called up to stop a killer asteroid. My handwriting or my typing was really bad, apparently. Anyways, he ended up changing his name to Mr. Lambert. Mr. Lambert, do you have a dog? And he became a werewolf. Steve Buscemi is 63. And, I still have 2 more. Okay, be quick. Daughter of the terminating commando of the jungle, slaying predators and stopping all true lies. Wife of Star-Lord, Catherine Schwarzenegger, is 31. And lastly, this damn Yankee is an avid hunter and rocker and has a wicked case of cat scratch fever. Don't like him? No worries. He'll put you in a stranglehold. Ted Nugent is 73. That is your celebrity birthdays for yesterday and today. Happy birthday, you crazy kids.
Well, folks, that does it for the entertainment news. When we come back, Tony's going to take us through Silly Rabbit. This bit is for kids. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a minute.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting's hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm gonna do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Indeed. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Monday, December 14th. Now we are all over social media with many of you watching us as we speak on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. Now, if you need us to get a hold of us on social media, I'm available at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Kristian with a K, Fenix with an F, Radio, of course, with an R, or on Instagram and Twitter at Fenix Media Radio. Tony is available at facebook.com/Tony.Sanfilippo. That's SANFILIPPO.94, or on Instagram at Tony.Sanfilippo81. Now, being that it's Monday, and as we like to do on Mondays, is explore just the craziness of kids, the crazy things they say, or their interactions with parents. Tony's here to take us through Silly Rabbit, this bit is for kids.
So I gotta say, this week's is pretty good, man. We got this off the old board panda here, and I gotta ask if you can relate to this. Have you ever just said something and you just thought, how stupid, why is my kid crying? Have you said anything like that, like something as simple as saying Darth Vader is a bad guy, and then that gets your kid crying? Have you, or the Golden Gate Bridge isn't really golden and it just makes them cry? Anything like that for the boys?
I'm sure I have, but nothing in particular comes to mind. I think it's more about telling them to do something or not to do something that you would normally would think to be is menial, but for them it's the end of the world.
It's the world, right? Yeah. That's great, man. I can't recall if I've done that to the nephews or the nieces ever in my life. I'm sure I have. I mean, I am a little sarcastic bastard sometimes, so it wouldn't surprise me. But here we got Henpet Tao. He had done this post and got everybody to start chiming in. So he said, things that made my toddler cry this week. I wouldn't let the dog drive him to daycare. The bath was too wet. He wanted syrup for breakfast. Just syrup. His sister keeps looking at him. He wants shoes like his friend Jacob. There is no Jacob. How about your kids? So this is what spun the topic. So here's the replies here. Would help if I apparently I have to turn on the filter so I can read the stuff. So
the ad blocker
I do
blocker?
Sometimes like the reader, so that way I don't get all the ads, but it shuts everything down, so I have to do the ads. Here nor there, at Blonde Eye Horace, Twitter user. Once I had to shave my head because of a haircut accident. Kids went crying to mom asking why daddy was going to prison. So the kid apparently just assumed, like, if you're bald-headed, you're a criminal. So I guess you got to have hair and you're not a crook. So go figure. At a Twitter user at Carrie. Yes, Carrie. I wouldn't let her stab me with the knife. She somehow got off the counter.
Fatality.
I can relate to that. I had the little gremlin kid that I'm not going to say his name in case they family listens or something. But that little kid tried to come at me and told me he was going to stab me, and I was like,
"Why won't you let me kill you?"
But I just want to stab you because you won't let me watch TV. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, this one. Me with Deanna Robb, Twitter user. Me with my 5-year-old. I misidentified a Torosaurus as a Triceratops. Both have 3 horns. WTF. I mispronounced Parasaurolophus. I accidentally said archaeologist instead of paleontologist. Then kept it up out of spite even after he corrected me. He likes dinosaurs.
I can tell.
I can tell. You know, that was, do you wonder if that was our friend Everett? Like, he's a big dinosaur guy to this day. He is a huge dinosaur guy. I could probably see him, like, knowing the dinosaur stuff and correcting his parents.
I figured it was either that or he was a big Jeff Goldblum fan.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a dinosaur guy.
Okay.
So, Ev, you'll have to let us know if you're watching, buddy. At Lindsay Perry 831, the vacuum was on, and he turned it on. The dog ate his cracker after he shoved it in the dog's mouth. I wouldn't let him help me clean up the dog poop, and he tried anyway using his bare hand.
Ooh, and he cried for it?
Why do I have to do this? Oh, that one was good, man. Poor Lindsay Perry. That one's rough. I, pictured the kid picking up the dog crap, with his hand. That's nasty.
Yeah, it's amazing how irrational kids can be.
Yeah. But you said I could do that in my little bit. At Goheen Page, she cried all day because she didn't like the shirt she put on. And she dressed herself. I don't like this shirt anymore. Oh,
to be fair, as an adult, I've done that. I've put on a shirt and then halfway through the day realized, why the hell did I put this on? I didn't cry.
I didn't cry either when I put on that Tesla shirt that looked like a giant penis. It just looked like a big Dick Van Dyke in my face. It's a TV show, kids. Come on. More Mama 1410 Twitter. That's her Twitter user handle. I told him he wasn't in kindergarten. He's 3. He wanted to wear his parka to school. Daddy handed him his stuffed animal. Daddy poured his milk. Daddy talked to him. We're in a serious mommy only phase right now. So anything Dad does, nope, don't want nothing to do with him. It's definitely all about Mom.
That poor dad. Just feeling unwanted and unloved. Anything he tries to do.
How do you think your dad feels, young man?
Right.
Jeez. Oh, at Adapa69, my kid once woke me up in the middle of the night to tell me not to cut pineapple slices too thick. We did not have any pineapple in the house at the time. Okay, I won't cut the pineapples. Were you dreaming of some more tropical, young man? I don't know.
Could be.
Oh, geez. Okay. At Make Statements, Ask Questions, Twitter user. My one twin asked me if he was the twin who split in 2 because he was older. I said, y'all both the same age. He said, yes, but I'm older. And he is by 10 seconds. And the other cried because he didn't want to be the little brother. This is when they were babies. I don't want him. I'm not the baby brother. I'm 10 seconds older. I think twins definitely have that because I've known a few twins growing up, and there is always the one that's like, yeah, but I'm like 15 seconds older than you, so I'm technically the older brother, and it's true. Yeah, one is definitely older than the other, just even if it's by seconds. So.
Exactly.
Poor kids. Sincerely, Mayhem says she's currently screaming because I took away her cup after she fell asleep with it. I tried to clean her nose. I wouldn't let her play with the scissors. I wouldn't let her crawl into the fireplace, and I didn't let her eat the toilet paper. Man, this Samantha just must be a really bad mom not to let her kid do any of those things. I mean,
it is
okay, sweetie. Just play with scissors. Just aim it away from you, though. Okay.
It should be every kid's right to be able to climb into the fireplace.
Yeah, I know. Come on. I was allowed to do that as a kid. I mean, granted, I got yelled at a lot, but still.
You turned out just fine.
I turned out just fine. At KL Reader, I gave him the Pop-Tart that he picked out. I told him not to stand on the back of the couch. I wouldn't let him chew on the dog toys. I wouldn't let him beat his brother with my hairbrush. I hugged him too long, and I wouldn't let him dig in the trash. I don't know. I mean, sounds like you were an unreasonable parent, and your kid had every right to beat his brother with the hairbrush.
Well, and just think, for every parent out there who does put these restrictions on their kids, there are parents out there that would let their kids do this, and that makes you wonder even that much more.
Exactly, it does. And lastly, Indie Girl said, I folded the kid's burrito wrong, and her black pants were too black. First world problems, man. First world problems.
Well, folks, that does it for Silly Rabbit. This bit is for kids. When we come back, we have a segment called Home Unknown. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool, and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix radio show. It is Monday, December 14th. Well, it is the last segment of the first hour of the show. There's still plenty ahead with our second hour ahead of us. Now, if you did miss a portion of the show or want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix radio show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts. Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, about 20 in all. While you're there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review, let us know what you think, and tell your friends because sharing is caring. Now in this segment that we've titled Home Unknown, Tony and I offline have talked recently about, the home buying process and whether it's good to buy, good to rent, whatever it may have been. And we've both owned homes throughout our lives. But the question is, Tony, is there anything you would have done differently in your first go around in buying a home?
I'm glad you asked that question, Kristian. That is a fantastic one. Hell yes, I would have. And let me tell you why. First house I bought, we felt rushed. Now, and the thing is we weren't rushed. We were just antsy on ourselves. Now, we lived with my ex-sister-in-law, Mandy, awesome gal, still tight with her to this day. Shout out to you, Mandy. She was nice enough to let us stay. We paid very minimum rent. Like it was, we only had a room, and yeah, you're sharing a house with a newborn baby. My nephew, Eric, at the time, was just an infant. And then Mandy and her husband, Keith. Not an overly big house, but it worked, and we were really respectful of each other. Sometimes you'd step on each other's toes for it to be a little smaller. Here nor there, we felt rushed to go find a house, which we really had all the time we needed. So at the time, the market was red hot. Not like crazy right now where you'd put in a bid and then like your piece of poop, I had to watch my mouth, house was like at the time, and this is 2003, about 2003-ish, 2004. Houses in Colorado were going as low as like 175, and at the time, 200,000 seemed like, oh, that's too much money. Like that'd be a bargain now, but back then, it was a little bit. So we got rushed, and we ended up buying. We settled. We kept seeing houses that were too out of our price range. Yada yada yada. Every house was a piece of crap. Yada yada. We saw the potential in this buy level. That was red flag number one. Nobody likes buy levels. No, we found this out too late. So you go into a buy level, you have a choice, up or down. That's it. So we bought a buy level, and the house was a piece of crap as far as like we thought. My ex-wife and I thought we could fix this up. It would be great. Yeah. Here's the hard lesson in hindsight. Never buy a house in a crappy neighborhood and think you're going to fix it up and get your money back. You are not. And if I would have known that, I would have run from this thing. The problem with it is we took a crap house, we made it beautiful, we revamped the flooring, we got a deck built, we painted it. Yeah, we made it look awesome. But the problem is you take the nicest house and make it, you can make it the nicest house, but if it's in a crap neighborhood and your neighbor has got like 10 cars in their backyard and they're meth addicts having sex every day at noon, good for them. But you're just not going to get your return on investment. We bought it for I think 175. and we ended up barely about breaking even. I think we sold it for 178, and that was in 2007. Next house we were much smarter on, so we got lucky on the second go around. But the first time, wow, man, wow. So my advice to anyone going to be a first time home buyer: take your time, do the research, learn the neighborhood. Don't just buy unseen. I mean, it's great to have a vision for something, but wow.
Yeah, there is that.
See, I'm glad you asked that. I could rant about that, but I want to trim it and not steal the whole segment. So there you go.
Yeah, there is an old adage that you're better off buying the worst house in a good neighborhood versus the best house in a bad neighborhood, and I think that sort of, fell in line for you. Exactly.
That's truth, man. How about you? I know, like, you guys have had some houses in, I mean, absolutely love the one you had in SoCal, though.
Yeah, it was a great house. Now, the only problem was that, and of course, being our first house, we thought it was a little strange that the real estate agent only wanted to meet there to show us the house pretty early in the morning, like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. At the time, we thought nothing of it. We loved the house, went through, signed all the paperwork, ended up buying it, quickly discovered why she wanted to meet us at that time. Turns out we were right underneath the flight plan of planes coming into John Wayne Airport. And so all day, every day, till about 10 o'clock at night, where they stopped service, every couple minutes, airplane coming overhead. Yep. And so, we got used to it eventually, but it was one of those things that had we given it a little more thought, maybe we wouldn't have ended up there.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that's the only thing I really thought, aside from that one time when I climbed Rattlesnake Mountain on the other side. Didn't realize it was full of rattlesnakes. That was a fun little hike. You got a great view of Orange County from up there.
Yeah.
Smog. Oh, there's Disney World. I mean, Disneyland. Whee.
Exactly.
That was good.
Well,
yeah.
Have a couple more tips.
But you had an In-N-Out burger right down the street, too.
Yeah, we did. That was pretty delicious.
And all those donut shops.
Yeah.
And the Broken Yoke. I mean, come on, man. That was a bitchin' area where you lived. I loved it. I loved visiting you.
That part was great. But,
not that I don't love visiting you when I go home to Nevada, but the palm trees and all that good stuff. It was great.
Yeah. Tried to take a nap in the middle of the day. Not so easy.
Not happening, man. Not happening.
Well, we've got a few tips for people who are looking to buy their first home and some things to keep in mind before they sign on the dotted line and tell their realtor.
Shut up and take my money.
For instance, save more than just the down payment. You'll have other home costs that you'll need to cover. You'll also need money for closing costs, a year's worth of home insurance, and private mortgage insurance if you put down less than 20%. You are going to spend so much more money than you think. Budget at least $2,000 for things like storage bins, extra hand towels, cleaning supplies, and impromptu Home Depot runs. I absolutely agree. There are so many unknowns, especially when buying your first house. And if you're going from an apartment to a home, just think you got to fill that house with something. And what you had in your apartment probably won't fill it.
No, absolutely. That's kind of the thing I'm watching my aunt and uncle go through right now. They're buying their first house together, and they're constantly, like, right now they're just buying stuff and they're getting excited. It's that excited phase. But once you go in, then the real fun's going to happen. It's the decorating, like, oh, we need that. Oh, this would look good in this room. Oh, we need to do this. Like, luckily theirs is a new build, so they won't have a lot of the trials and tribulations you get when buying a used home, because there's always going to be some type of style that the previous owner had that you're not going to like.
Yeah.
Or in my case, in my second house, which due to divorce is why we sold that. Otherwise, we probably could have sold that thing for a pretty penny. But the dude that bought it from us, like, when it went up for sale, and I knew better not to look, but I looked, and that thing, they made a crap ton of money off of it, way more than we did. and they did nothing. Everything we did was still there, like all the designs, all the paint, all that.
Yeah,
they literally rode our coattails to a fortune. So yeah.
Yeah.
Life, baby.
Yeah, it's
Life.
all about the market. Now, speaking of markets now, obviously there are more and more self-employed folks just with everything that's going on. If you are self-employed, plan in advance is just extra important. This person said, I've owned 3 homes. I just bought the 3rd. My advice is, if you are self-employed, take a year to work with an accountant to get things squared away. It is much harder to secure a mortgage when you're self-employed, and it's much harder to prove your income, which is absolutely true. When you've got a regular paycheck and a W-2 and all of that, it's a little bit easier than, if you're just self-employed and have to deal with, the little receipts and things, that come with that.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot, like everyone thinks you could just run out and just, when you go buy a house, like it costs a lot of money. You gotta have, this is when they say save, you definitely got to have some stuff set aside. And, and I'm not against it. For me, being a single guy right now, it's just renting is easy for me. I don't have anything to show for it if I need to move and sell. So on that hand, that's a huge negative and disappoints my grandpa immensely. I'm not gonna lie. I've heard through the grapevine he's not too proud of me in that department, but that's okay. I'm able to go do a lot of things. So you got to fit it for your lifestyle. I would advise don't bite off more than you can chew, and definitely, look, don't go chasing the biggest house in the world, because you got to think the property taxes, the energy bill, the insurance, everything that comes with that. It gets a little pricier,
And then the other thing you don't want to chase are, the big trend is flipped homes. Well, it's almost like lipstick on a pig. Don't get too starry-eyed over a flipped home that looks pristine and polished on the outside. So many flippers slap on cosmetics and ignore major problems. I already knew this before buying my 1963 Cutie Forever home, but I was not expecting to get hit with a $15,000 plumbing issues 3 months after closing. Moral of the story is, a flip may look and feel like brand new, but you might pay top dollar for nothing more than fixtures. Well, folks, that does it for the first hour. When we come back, we've got our interactive portion of the show, Christmas on the Cheap. What do you do if you don't have all the money in the world to get stuff for your friends and family? We want to hear from you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 7 minutes. Enjoy. You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at fenixmedia.us.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. To explore our complete lineup, head over to fenixmedia.us or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Simon Marks. The first COVID-19 vaccines are being administered in the United States 48 hours after the Food and Drug Administration approved the Pfizer-BioNTech jab for use. The first American to receive the vaccine, Sandra Lindsay, a critical care nurse at a hospital system in Long Island.
I hope this marks the beginning to the end of a very painful time in our history.
Alex Azar, President Trump's Secretary of Health and Human Services, told NBC this morning that a military operation equivalent to D-Day is now swinging into action.
We are sending out 2.9 million doses of vaccine, and so we hope we'll see as much of that used as humanly possible this week.
But he conceded a massive public health education campaign will be needed to overcome skepticism about the vaccine in the United States. And America's dark experience with COVID-19 is intensifying, the country's total death toll rising above 300,000 now, a number once unthinkable. In the UK, alarming news from Health Secretary Matt Hancock.
We have identified a new variant of coronavirus.
He says it's a variety of COVID-19 that is spreading more rapidly than the original.
There is currently nothing to suggest that this variant is more likely to cause serious disease, and the latest clinical advice is that it's highly unlikely that this mutation would fail to respond to a vaccine.
The impact of that fast-spreading COVID-19 is that the City of London is being placed under the British government's toughest restrictions, Tier 3. That means hospitality outlets in the capital are restricted to takeaway only, and schools are being urged to close early for the Christmas holidays. These parents in London were taking it in their stride.
It was going to happen at some point with the weather dropping and getting colder.
We've got to do what we've got to do. There's no easy answer to any of it, really.
In other news, the US Electoral College is meeting today to formalize Joe Biden's victory in the presidential election. President Trump continues to claim falsely that the election was rigged against him, and he's warning members of the Electoral College, again falsely, that they may be breaking the law today. FSN's Will Denzelo is in Harrisburg, the capital of Pennsylvania, where electors will back Joe Biden today.
Spoken to one of those 20 Electoral College voters here in the state of Pennsylvania. Now, they say to me that they're following security procedures to ensure they're not giving away the exact location of where the vote will be taking place.
Google is under pressure to explain why more than a dozen of its services, including Gmail, YouTube, Google Docs and Nest, suffered a global service outage earlier today. They were down for up to an hour, depending on where you live. The company says the problem was caused by what it calls an authentication system outage, and it says a full review is underway to make sure it doesn't happen again. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets, and they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go. Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you? What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't? Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this. To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
There goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Welcome back, folks, to the second hour of the Kristian Fenix radio show on this Monday, December 14th. Now we're your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world, still joined by my co-host, Tony Sanfilippo. Tony, do you have time for your smoothie this morning?
You know it, buddy.
Nice. I'm jealous. I'm a little thirsty. Need a little...
Oh, why didn't you go get something to drink? Did you at least go get water?
Oh, yeah, I got water.
Whistle?
I've got
Okay, good. Yeah, I know. I got a plethora of stuff. I re-upped my tea. I got my smoothie. I've got my emergency for the vitamin C of the day. So, you know, I'm good in between. I'm going to do my best to just drink these things in between segments so you guys don't constantly watch me drink. I mean, the tea helps soothe the throat. My sister messaged me yesterday and was like, what kind of tea do you drink? And I told her this particular box was yogi tea.
Okay.
And it was just stress. It was stress relief. That was what was on the box. And I guess when I bought it, I was stressed. With work, it is stressful. And she goes, well, what that bleep kind of flavor is that? And I'm like, I don't know. I add honey to it. It's just tea. It was the first box I grabbed. That was kind of it. I don't know if I have a particular favorite tea or anything, but I do like putting honey in it with with everything. It does make for talking for 2 hours much easier. So.
Well, I love that stress relief flavor. You know, I add stress relief flavoring to my barbecue rubs. I add it to just about everything. So.
Oh, this rib! Oh. Gotta get all that stress relief in there.
And needless to say, with all of those hydration options, you're going to be peeing like a champion later.
Oh, that is what in between the breaks are for. What you
Exactly.
what you don't see off the cameras, you know, or off air.
Well, folks, this is the interactive portion of the show. This is where we want to hear from you guys, the listeners, on whatever our topic of the day might be. Now, we do try to solicit that you guys call in 24 hours in advance, which is why we give the topic for the next day on the Fenix Line at 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973. And, of course, if you do put your comment or suggestion or story in for whatever the next day's topic is, you are entered into a chance to win some Fenix fan gear. We'll do a drawing once a month for those who have called in, and the winner gets a Fenix Media hat, t-shirt, maybe some other goodies as well.
And I gotta say, Lacey, when you get yours, congratulations on winning the very first ever one. But once you get the fan gear and stuff or your winnings, you'll have to post it on our page so we can see it.
Absolutely, yeah. We love seeing it. Of course, it's going to be stylish. It's not going to be generic or we took great care in putting it together. But with all of that being said, let's get to today's topic. And of course, you can always comment live on our Facebook live video over at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Kristian with a K, Fenix with an F, radio, of course, with an R. Just click into the live video, comment there. And again, today's topic is Christmas on the cheap. What do you get your friends and family when your pocketbooks hit a little hard? You know, obviously they say it's the thought that counts, but at the same time, you want to give them something physical that they can love, cherish, or use. Tony, anything come to mind, maybe something in the past where, money was a little tight for you or money was tight for somebody else, but they gave you just an awesome gift?
Yeah, but before we go into that, I just gotta say it made me think of well, you're like, it's the thought that counts. Instantly, the song "Dick in a Box" just popped in my head. It's just a dick in a box. Anyways,
Step one.
We ain't FCC regulated, so there you go. I digress. It makes me laugh every time. Sorry. But yeah, you know, I actually every year I try to. It's hard, you know, because I have so many friends and family that you want to get everybody something, and you got to be careful not to spoil too much on one, and because you have to stick within a budget, or you're gonna go, or you're gonna, like after the holidays, you're gonna be looking at your credit card statement like, ooh, probably shouldn't have done so much. You know, in the moment it's nice to give, but then when you're paying the bill, sometimes it's a little rough. So with that being said, what I do nowadays is definitely try to get stuff like on a Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals, kind of take advantage of those. Clearance, places like Ross, TJ Maxx, you know, stuff that'll still sell real good quality goods at low prices. I mean, you know, like for example, I'm going to out myself. This Avs jersey, you know, it's authentic. It's an official Fanatics Avs jersey. I'm sure when this bad boy was on sale, or when it came out, it was probably along the lines of $50-$60
or more, right?
As they typically are. Yeah, got this on the rack at good old Ross, $14. I'm not gonna bitch about it, and I'm not even gonna knock it. I don't care. Dress for less. Anyways, you gotta be a smart, savvy shopper, and I've learned that through the ex-wife and, you know, girls I've dated and stuff. If you're a little thrifty, you could stretch the dollar. Now, back before I didn't have money and it was just the thought that count, it was you wanted to be creative, you know, whether it was something you baked or, you know, I've had stuff like that. I've just something like as simple as, you can't see it because the camera's not there, but I have this Denver Bronco framed picture I got 2 years ago from my sister Mulaney. She's a scratch artist, and she did a Denver Bronco logo, and it was scratch art, and put it in this nice white frame, and she created it. And to me, that meant more than probably like a video game or something, you know.
Right.
Sometimes the most creative gifts are the most heartfelt. The thought process behind it mean a lot more. I think as an older person now, that's how I feel, versus when I was a kid, it was about the toys and the electronics, and I didn't want these damn underwear, you know. But I do very much live, and I'm very humble. Like, if I get nothing, that's fine. A simple message like a Merry Christmas, that's enough for me anymore.
Exactly.
Like, I don't really need anything.
Yep.
You know. But when I get stuff, it's awesome. Like, yeah, I'm very grateful, but it's not something I expect or you know, even care. Like, if I gave, you know, you something, I don't expect something back. I just chose to give you something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that's a great
But a lot of
mentality
people do
to have.
feel obligated, though. They're like, oh, crap, I got to get them something. No, you don't. Not me, at least. You're good.
Well, folks, we do want to hear from you if you feel obligated, or, you know, there's just something that, you know, is a great sort of blanket gift to get for people when money's a little tight. Let us know. When we come back, it is all about you guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
the most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message. Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And at 09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait, communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Now we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix radio show on a Monday, December 14th. We are smack dab in the middle of the interactive portion of the show where we want to hear from you guys, the listeners and watchers. Head over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Kristian with a K, Phoenix with an F, radio, of course, with an R. And our topic of the day is Christmas on the cheap. What do you get people when money is a little bit tight, or it's maybe you've received something from somebody who didn't have a lot of money, but it was just a wonderful personalized gift that means more to you than if they had bought you a $100 gift certificate to your favorite store. So that's what we're looking for. We do want to hear from you. Now, Tony gave us a couple suggestions, or at least things that he had received in the past. One that came to mind for me is from my younger brother who, he's self-employed. Obviously, around this time of year, money is that much tighter because you got to get stuff for everybody. And he came up with a wonderful suggestion. Now, he is a graphic designer, and he owns a 3D printer. Obviously, not everybody has access to something like that, but what he did was he essentially 3D printed puzzles for everybody. Each one a different puzzle based on how he thought they'd be able to do. So, for some of the people that he didn't think might enjoy it as much, it was an easier puzzle. For somebody like me, it was a little more intricate, a little more difficult. But it had that nice little personal touch that really didn't cost him anything more than the filament it took to print it, and obviously the time that it takes to print. So that's sort of what we're looking for is, Christmas on the cheap. What do you do when money is a little tight? Now, Tony, on your end, has anybody commented in, let you know either something that they've given when money's tight or something they've received from somebody that didn't have all the money in the world? Oh, you're on mute, Tony. How dare you?
There we go. Unmute. Lacey chimed in, and don't worry, Lacey, I won't spill my smoothie. It's not in the range of hand swinging motions, so we're good.
Probably good.
Gift cards are gift cards to both people and a couple to a restaurant so they can have a date night. I think that's a great way. This goes back to our conversation the other day where some people don't like gift cards because they don't feel personable, but I think gift cards are great. It allows you to go where you want to go, do what you want to do. Now, if it's to a restaurant and somebody really likes that, I think that's awesome, especially for a couple. I can only imagine. I'm obviously not in a relationship. I've been in many, been married. When you can have time to just spend together is always time well spent. Especially, I would imagine if you got kids, you know, if you could get someone to watch the kids,
Time
and you
away.
can actually get out and just be you guys together. I think that's fantastic. So wonderful gift idea, and I think that's awesome.
And very much,
I really love that stuff.
yeah, and very much along the same lines. Maybe not like dinner, but a movie night out. You know, a gift certificate to the local theater with enough for some, you know, popcorn and snacks and things like that. You know, those are wonderful memories and things to do that don't cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah, you know, I always keep thinking of just the coolest gifts I've ever gotten have usually been, I love any gift I get, but it's sometimes those personable ones that you get. I was thinking about this today when I got back from the gym this morning. Like, even though my ex-mother-in-law gave like the crappiest gifts, she actually gave me one cool gift that I still use to this day.
No kidding.
When we were married, she did these rocks that you'd put outside your house. There's this big, nice little river rock stone thing engraved with our last name. So it just says, you know, San Filippo on it. It's just this rock, just sits outside your house. Then she did it for all the kids. You know, well, obviously during the divorce, you know, the ex ain't going to take it with her. So I got to keep this rock. And to this day, it just, you know, got right outside my townhome. I'm proud of my last name. It's very unique for the most part. Not too many San Filippos out there. I mean, there is if you really look, but that I personally know, it's not a common one. So very proud of the weird one. And who doesn't like to spell it out? So, you know, personable gifts are always a nice thing, especially when you don't see it coming. You're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know.
And speaking of, you know, personalized gifts, there's probably no better website to go to than Etsy. You know, Etsy has some great gifts for affordable prices. For instance, you know, they've got a personalized relationship timeline that can chronicle everything from a first date to an engagement or any other small moment that felt monumental. Something that this person would add to their own timeline, realize that he liked 80s music just as much as I do. And it's a fun, you know, sort of just very simple timeline, but it is personalized from the Paper Amour company on Etsy, and it runs about $25. So won't break the bank, but it is, you know, very thoughtful. You know, I was going to say thought-provoking. It's not, but it's thoughtful for something to give to someone.
Thought-provoking.
You know,
I mean,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, too, you know, this segment's so fun. I wish we had more participants on it. But, you know, I take what we get on it. And it's just, you know, I love the gift giving. I love seeing people's ideas. You know, something I did for my ex last year. And what was it was really awkward. So it was like it was dual things. So we broke up right around Christmas time. But we got each other all these gifts. Well, one of her big things was her dog that she lost in her relationship before me. She didn't get to see the dog anymore. It meant the world to her. So what I did is I got the dog's picture from her Facebook page, and then I got some special socks made with the dog's face on it. And then I got Mulaney, who did the scratch art for me, because that was one of my favorite gifts. I turned around and I paid Mulaney to do a scratch art of her dog. Came out fantastic. Of course, when we broke up, I was like, well, what the F am I going to do with this? But I was still going to give it to her. And I'm glad I did. You know, it was heartfelt. You know, I'm sure it meant something to her. So that's great, you know. And then what was cool is she got me a custom Colorado Rockies jersey with 81 on the back, year I was born, and then my last name. So that was personalized, really thoughtful. You know, you incorporate, you know, three things that are, you know, that mean a lot to me. I love baseball, Rockies, and of course, my name and the year I was born.
Right. Of course, a jersey
all
like
good
that,
stuff.
You don't get on the cheap. They're quite expensive, but very cool.
She definitely was a great gift giver. I'll give her that, man. Cheers to her. So whatever dude she's with now, I'm sure is going to enjoy the gifts that he gets. So
Now, here's something for the sweets lover in your life. You know, maybe they're like me, just love sweets and chocolates and cookies and things like that. Well, you can get somebody a Cadbury chocolate box stuffed to the brim with 10 delicious full-sized bars, including the beloved Dairy Milk Caramel Bar. Plus, they're shipped directly from the UK, so their taste buds will feel just like riding the tube past Big Ben with every bite. And a box like that runs less than $20, and, you know, it's chocolates and things that you don't necessarily get here in the U.S., so it's a fun little international flavor.
That's awesome, man. You know what I did when I was a front end soup? I don't know if they liked it, but I would get them, you know, because it gets expensive to buy a group of people gifts, especially coworkers. But I would go, and I got lucky, man. World Market started carrying Kinder years ago, and that's like a European chocolate. And you can go to like Walmart now, and you can get the Kinder Bueno. It's 99 cents. Fantastic. I highly recommend it. It's thin, light, delicious, leaves a good flavor in your mouth. But these little hippos, they were little Kinder-filled hippos, man. They're awesome. And I would get them for the staff, and they loved them. They're just like, wow, these are cool, you know, because they're not only are they just cute, they're like these little hippos, but filled with that Ferrero Rocher flavor. Oh, dude, just good.
Oh,
just
you're making me
sweet
hungry.
Stuff, man.
You're making me hungry.
Yeah, so if you got a World Market and you guys want to try what I'm talking about, they have them there. And before that, Kinder wasn't allowed to be imported into the U.S. for some reason. Don't know why. You could get it in Canada, you could get it in Mexico, you just couldn't get it in the U.S. And the ex-wife, when she studied abroad, man, she would send me Kinder chocolate, man, and I just got this sweet tooth, and to this day, that's a chocolate weakness for me. I'm not a big chocolate guy anymore, but if there's Kinder, I'm likely gonna be eating some. That's for sure.
Oh, that sounds so good. And then finally, as we wrap things up, you know, here's something that again, it sounds delicious, and I can think of half a dozen people that this would apply for. A Friends cookbook, the show Friends, for the pal who has watched every single episode an unhealthy amount of times. This book makes it easy to whip up not-so-fine margaritas, engagement ring lasagna, and fried stuff with cheese, plus inside jokes are sprinkled throughout with each recipe, and it'll only run you about $9.82 on Amazon. So, you know, it's a fun gift for the people that you know love Friends, and it won't break the bank.
Well, that's a good idea, because on top of you being a big Friends guy, I think like the whole SOV, for the most part, are all episodes of Friends, because when I was over at Thanksgiving, they were quoting it. And for me, I got most of it, but some of it went right over.
That's all right. And I'm going to be posting this list on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. So that way, if you are in that spot, you're looking for, you know, something on the cheap to get people, there's about 45 suggestions on here. So there's some great things to roll with. Now, before we head into the break, I want to give you guys the topic for tomorrow's call-in segment. How it should have ended. Now, we talked last week about TV shows, the worst series finales ever. We want your suggestions on what would have made it better. So that is the topic for tomorrow. Give us a call on the Fenix Line and let us know what series finale you would have changed things around a little bit. When we come back, It's a Trap. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextsstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm gonna do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Monday, December 14th. Now, we talk about it a couple times each show. It is the Fenix Line, a 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line, giving you guys the opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever, including our interactive topics of the day. And tomorrow's topic is how it should have ended TV series. So if there's a TV series that you thought, you know, they didn't give it quite the right ending, this is how I would have done it. We want to hear from you. Give us a call on the Fenix Line at 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973 for the alphanumerically impaired. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together, put them out in a future show. Now, in this segment, wanted to talk about scammers, and we've aptly titled this segment, It's a Trap! It's a Trap. You know, it is that time of year that scammers are more and more prevalent. Everything from porch pirates to, you know, the people who try to get you on the phone and say, you know, your social security is having issues. What's your social security number? Or we're going to send police down to arrest you if you don't pay this bill immediately. You know, transfer us X amount of dollars.
Oh, yeah. Those are my favorite ones.
It's so bad. Or, you know, they've even gotten so wise that, you know, I get emails all the time from Netflix or PayPal to verify account details. But of course, you know, you look at the URL or the email address that it came from, and it's just a long string of numbers, and clearly it didn't come from them. They're just trying to get that information. Tony, for you, can you think of any scams that you actually fell for?
Oh yeah, the timeshare.
Yeah.
I mean,
unfortunately, that's a legal scam.
That was the biggest rip-off scam in the world. But I know that's not the topic, because those you go in knowing that they're trying to sell you something, but actually to fall for something where you're just like, oh man, why did I do that? I don't have a good one off the top of my head because I'm pretty smart about not to do any of that stuff. But I can tell you what's weird is I did get a piece of mail. You had sent me a Christmas gift, so I finally checked my mail. Well, in there was a letter from Tennessee. Someone in Tennessee is a realtor looking to buy my house out there. Apparently, I own a house in Tennessee, and I Googled the address. And then if you do type it in Google, like who owns it and stuff, my name pops up. So it's kind of creepy.
Interesting.
But I don't have it. It's not on my credit report. I've not gotten any flags. I'm pretty well set up with protection for that. So maybe it's just ironically the same name. And it's just tied. I have no idea. I've never been to Tennessee. Couldn't tell you.
Hey,
but I'm not stupid enough to call them and humor them about owning a house out there. Yeah, I'm not going to fall for that. So
yeah, and ultimately, just be very careful in the types of communication and double check who's calling out to you.
Definitely, I do feel like you and I were scammers in high school. And we were getting paid to do it. I feel like that teleperformance job we had was a damn scam. Like, come on. We had to call like poor old people and sell Burpee's home lifestyle seeds and outdoor fly fisherman subscriptions. What a joke.
And again,
what a joke, man.
Those are more on the legal side of things. In this case, let's take a look at scams that people actually fell for. It's a trap. For instance, I guess scammers come at all ages. This person put, short story from my childhood. Someone tried stealing my working NES system. Late 80s, I was about 9. Had a friend call me up, invited me to his house so he could clean my NES. Thought it was strange, but he was very insistent, and I didn't want to argue. Brought it over. He started cleaning the NES. Asked me to get something from the kitchen, a butter knife, I think. I went. Found it after a few seconds of searching, brought it back. He said he was finished, left the NES on the top of his TV, and left the room to get something. Now, my NES looked very different. Stared at it a bit. It was missing a crack that had always been there. Looked on the floor where his NES was, and it had that crack. Effer tried the old switcheroo. I tensed up, didn't want to argue with the kid. Confrontation wasn't my strong point. I just switched them back as quickly as I could. He was gone for a while, actually had a lot of time. After he came back, told him I had to go, thanked him for cleaning, went home. After about 30 minutes, he called my house again. He asked me, which NES did I take home? Told him I took mine. He asked again, yeah, but did you take the one on the TV or the one on the floor? Just told him again, I took mine. He sounded defeated and said, all right, bye. Kids can be sneaky and obviously in that case, that would be frustrating.
We, that happened with me one time with the Super Nintendo. One kid tried to do that here in Fort Collins, man. I brought it out for the summer and one dude tried, but his was like a weird, the way the sun would hit it, if it's at where there was sunlight, it
had
like
that yellowy,
you get like some of those yellow Super Nintendos that would kind of yellow a bit. Well, mine was not like that, but like all of a sudden mine, like I saw his was, and then like I saw him grabbing mine. I said, whoa, that's mine. But luckily I was smart and I wrote like initials in a Sharpie under it. So
good. Yeah.
That saved me on that. We used to do stuff like that too. My uncle and I and his friends, we would have these summers. We would all do the little scam crap to each other with CDs, and you wouldn't know until you went to go play your CD. Like if we each had we'd say a Dawkins CD. And it's like if I had the mint condition one, that would piss my uncle off because he'd have Back for the Attack. His was all scratched up, but he'd wait to the day I'd go back to Nevada, flip them, and I wouldn't know until I got home. And I go, "Why is my CD all scratched?" Oh, that son of a bitch.
Wasn't yours.
So, and we joke about it now, but there was a lot of flopping and swapping, and he would say, "Hey, you little effer, you swap this out," and I'd chuckle because he would do it to me. So between family, it was like good fun. It's funny now, but at the time, it used to piss me off.
Yeah, sort of a running gag. Well, let's move on with It's a Trap. For instance, this one, which I think is probably more of a misunderstanding, says, I pre-ordered a game from GameStop, and the clerk told me there was a $5 pre-order charge that would be taken out of the price when I picked it up. Went to pick up the game, had to pay full price. Hope you enjoyed scamming my 9-year-old that took a week to earn $5 precious for mowing lawns. Again, I think that was a miscommunication, if anything, just because of the fact that GameStop does charge $5 pre-order charge, and it normally does come off. That's one of those things that you would just have to talk to a manager about. But don't be a Karen, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely don't do that. Oh.
All right, let's move on with It's a Trap. This one, scammed almost by an ex-girlfriend. Says, I was 15 minutes ahead of an ex-girlfriend getting to the bank to lock up my accounts. She came in and tried to clean them out. The bank stopped her and called the police, but she was able to talk her way out of it. And of course, you hear about those things all the time where, somebody feels slighted and they go and try and clean out the other person's bank account. And it's pretty bad.
No, that's, I'm laughing, but it's not funny. People are so ridiculous. Like, I kind of get afraid to ever want to get married again because everybody's great in the beginning, but then you hear horror stories. Like, I have a coworker and she's like, she was married for 24 years with this dude and they're going through divorce, and he is like gung-ho on going after her 401k, and I'm like, Jesus, man.
It's crazy.
Like, pulling no stops.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been in that situation. You've been scam boned.
Oh yeah, yeah. But it's
bad.
It's one of those things that you gotta just take those extra precautions. Now, here's another more traditional type of scam that unfortunately you see more recently. It's a trap. This from somebody who worked at Best Buy said, a customer came in demanding to speak with my manager regarding a TV he had ordered. The manager he asked for was Tammy, and we had no managers by that name nor pickup orders for this customer in our system. I asked for more details. The customer had responded to a Craigslist ad for an unbelievable price on a TV. The seller claimed to be a manager at our store and instructed him to make payment by purchasing gift cards for the asking price, then sending pics of the back of the gift cards to the seller. The customer did all this, then was advised the TV would be ready for pickup at our store. Needless to say, there was no TV for him. He demanded to speak to an actual manager who kindly informed him, that he was SOL. He was just purely out of luck.
I wish we could do that, man. There's a lot of people like that in the world. Anyone in our refunds department could tell you, refunds department could tell you that, man. I've even thwarted a few, but then been overridden by someone above me, and I'm just like, oh my God, you're an idiot. Remember that TV story I told you years ago? I don't have time to tell it now, but oh man, I did everything and I thwarted that guy, but I lost. Yep. I lost that one. And then we took somebody else's TV bag.
Oh yeah. And then finally, it's a trap. Here's one that if you're selling cars, I've sold many cars on Craigslist. This person, and it happens all the time, says, I was selling a car on Craigslist and got a call from this guy who seemed super interested. He followed up by text asking if it had a clean history. Next text, he sends me a link to what appeared to be an alternative to Koufax, asking me to get a history report for $30 before he drives out. I was literally putting my credit card info in before I paused to think about the website might be fake. Turns out it was only registered with ICANN that day. It was totally fake, and of course a way just to earn 30 extra bucks calling people, sending them that. I mean, think about how much money they can make off of it. It's ridiculous. So folks, be careful out there. There are scammers everywhere, and just, if something doesn't smell right, it may not be right. So give it a little extra thought. It's a trap. Folks, when we come back, we are headed into the final segment of the show. It is time for This Day in History. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
No someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks, to the final segment of this episode of the Kristian Fenix radio show. It is a Monday, December 14th. Now, if you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it is easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix radio show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts, whether it's Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, Doozer, Dozer, Geezer, Gozer.
Are you a god?
No.
Oh, Tony.
No, I'm not. I'm just Tony, and I didn't have a good soundbite for that one.
Doomed us
so
all.
We're gonna have to say this. I doomed us, and you know who's not happy?
Randy
I told me Randy Savage is not happy with your decision, yeah.
Well, folks, while you are there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review. Let us know what you think, and tell your friends, because why, Tony?
Sharing is caring.
And speaking of sharing, Kendra chimed in on our last segment. Tony was talking about that he unknowingly owns a home in Nashville. Apparently, he's also on the board of directors for Papa John's. So, you know, Tony, if that is actually true, I expect some damn free pizzas.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll make the pizzas better because they're not that great.
There you go.
You ever do Papa John's, man? It hurts my stomach every time.
I haven't had it in a while, but
you might as well, after I'm done eating it, you might as well call me Tootie Giuliani.
All right,
Rudy.
All right, Rudy Tootie Giuliani.
Rudy Tootie.
Well, with that being said, we like to drop a little knowledge.
That being the said,
hopefully make you laugh at the same time. It is time for This Day in History.
Traversing the globe for the stories that turn the world on its head. It's This Day in History with your correspondent on the beat,
Kristian Fenix.
It's Monday. I'm tired. Tony's wacky, but we're having fun nonetheless.
Oh yeah, well, and it's good is all we gotta do is make it like 8 more minutes. No technical difficulties today.
Oh, you said it.
That's always a damn good day. No.
Yep.
All right, we'll find out. We're putting this to the test, baby. We're testing it.
Well, let's go ahead and kick things off with this day in 1582. Zeeland, Brabant, Netherlands adopts the Gregorian calendar. According to that, tomorrow is Christmas Day. That would make today Christmas Eve.
Excellent!
It's funny you bring up that soundbite, Tone. Up next, this day in 1812, the French invasion of Russia, led by Napoleon Bonaparte, officially ends with the French having lost as many as 530,000 people. Of course, how did he go celebrate? Well, getting a little Piggly Wiggly from Farrell's.
Excellent! Excellent!
It's just fun to play that soundbite.
We have
It's like surround sound.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, from Nevada to Colorado and all in between.
Here's one where I've said many times I would not want to be the first person to do a lot of things. In some cases, it's pretty cool. Not in this one. This day in 1911, Norwegian Roald Amundson's expedition is the first to reach the South Pole. Of course, he lost people on the way, and who wants to go to the South Pole anyway? It's too damn cold down there.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Let's move on. This day in 1920.
Ooh, a good year.
Jack Dempsey knocks out Bill Brennan in 12 for heavyweight boxing title in New York City. And obviously those, back in the day of put up your dukes.
K.O.
Yeah, let's get some fisticuffs.
K.O.
Let's move on. This day in 1953, I know one of Tony's favorite players, the Brooklyn Dodgers signed pitcher Sandy Koufax.
Mm-hmm. Sandy Koufax.
It's a good thing he
Actually,
didn't play for the Cleveland baseball team or the Cleveland Indians.
That one team we can't talk about anymore.
I know.
The team from the movie Major League. No, Sandy Koufax is legendary, man. I love all the old players and all that old-time baseball history. It's awesome. It ticks me off that some of it's omitted from history now, but
I know.
But there's some cool stuff, and like I might not be a Dodger fan, but you got to respect like where the Brooklyn Dodger history was and everything. It's all great. So
yeah, I was thinking of an alternative for the former Cleveland Indians. They should now be the Cleveland team that shall not be named.
Ooh, I like that.
It's like
and have
little Voldemort.
Have either, yeah. Hello, Harry.
Let's move on with this day in history. This day in 1969. Nice. Leaving on a Jet Plane, single sung by Peter, Paul, and Mary, written by John Denver, is #1 on the U.S. Billboard's Hot Top 100. That John Denver, he's full of poop.
He's full of poop, man.
Excellent.
Speaking of music, this day in 1969 as well, the Jackson 5 make their first appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
That Jackson 5 got a lot of teens happy then.
Oh yeah, they did.
Oh, can you see? Well,
Back in 1988 on this day, boy, this is a ton of money on at that period of time.
Man.
CBS's $1.1 billion bid wins exclusive 1990 to 1994 Major League Baseball rights. I guess during those years, Major League Baseball was only on CBS.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize they didn't spread that out. It was just like I was years old. Well, it was actually a week in yesterday's old. When I learned why like NFC games are aired on Fox and AFC games are on CBS. Well, it's contracts. I had no idea. CBS owns the rights to AFC, blah, blah, blah. Interpromotionals, they shake it up. So that's crazy with Major League Baseball because now you catch it TBS, TNT, Fox gets them at times, but you don't see baseball games on ABC, NBC, or CBS. Currently.
Exactly. No, I just remember growing up that the Atlanta Braves games were always on TBS. And I think Ted Turner might have owned the Braves at that time, but you could always catch a Braves game.
You could always catch a Braves game. And then if you had WGN, you could always catch a Cubs game.
That's right, yeah.
Because they were WGN, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was crazy, man. I remember back in the day, I hated when they won their one World Series, and I used to watch WCW, and then it's like you'd watch WCW Saturday night, and it's always like, home of the world champion, the Atlanta Braves. I'd get sick of hearing that.
Not a big Braves fan, huh?
No, I don't hate them, but I just, at the time, I was like, oh, shut up about the Braves. But they had a hell of a good team, though.
They did. Well, let's move on. This day in 1992. Lennox Lewis is given the WBC title when Riddick Bowe refused to fight him. And again, I remember that happening. I don't remember the circumstances around it, but I remember Lennox Lewis was a terrifying fighter. I mean, about as good as it gets.
Yeah.
All right, this day and night.
Now, who was scarier, him or Tyson?
Ooh.
Mike Tyson?
Tyson.
Tyson's scary, man. Yeah.
He's still scary.
He seems like he'd be kind
Nice
of
guy.
a hoot to hang around nowadays, but definitely frightening.
Oh, totally. Speaking of frightening, this day in 1993, Philadelphia, one of the first mainstream films about AIDS, directed by Jonathan Demme, starring Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington, premieres in Century City, California. I remember how monumental that movie was in, dealing with the AIDS, the virus and its toll on people, and it was a really well done movie.
It was. I don't remember it too well because I don't think I've seen it since I was a young man, so it's not something I'm gonna go rush out and watch again. So
yeah, it makes sense.
But stood the test of time. Good job.
Speaking of movie premieres, this day in 2015, Star Wars The Force Awakens, directed by J.J. Abrams, starring Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, and Harrison Ford, has its world premiere at the TCL Chinese Theater in Los Angeles. And I remember how excited I was for, a new trilogy of Star Wars movies.
God, yes.
They were entertaining. They weren't the best by any means, but I think at least that first
one was really good, though. Like, I enjoyed the hell out of it. Yeah, it was A New Hope redone. Like, it was reimagined, essentially. But, damn, that one was really good, though.
I enjoyed it, too.
Like, I enjoyed the hell out of it. It's when we started to get to the sequels to that one. Then it got a little questionable.
Yep. And then finally, before we close out the show, we like to run down a few of today's holidays. All right, for instance...
You guys are not subjected to my terrible Adam Sandler one.
Exactly. Today is Free Shipping Day. Hopefully that's across all.
Oh, hell yeah. I better get my gifts out.
It is Green Monday, apparently a lot like Cyber Monday. It is Roast Chestnut Day. Roast them over those open fire. Today is National Bouillabaisse Day, a fish stew.
Bouilla.
Yummy. And Monkey Day.
Bouilla.
International Monkey Day. Folks, that does it for today's show. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode and Animal Tales. Enjoy your Monday, folks. You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.
Hamilton was adopted